So this is a shir in Sefer Maamarim Tofresh Mem Zayin, and it's in the Sefer HaKloli from Tofresh Mem Vav ad Tofresh Nun, and we are holding on Omid Pei base in that Sefer, and we're learning the Maimah of Zocher Eish Asher Solach Molek from Tofresh Mem Zayin. And we're holding on as above on Omid Pei base, a little past about the middle of the Omid, and tonight is Uer Liyom Ravi Kof base B'Shvat, Tuesday night. Liyom Ravi Kof base Shvat Tovshinayim base. So we saw that Amalek was described as Rashis Goyim. Rashis Goyim Amalek, and it's kilo because of that, and as a tetzor and a result of that, then acharisai ade oive. So we said that we needed to understand what was the implication of Amalek, as he explained a line or two later, that meant that he was the Rashis, the beginning, meaning like a distant Rashis in the form of a seivev, and Mokir, to all the other 7 peoples, and therefore he was called Rashis, like a Mokir B'derech Havdolah, for all the other Goyim, and we'll see about that later on as we go in more detail what does all that imply. And Achrisa Adei Ovid, his finality will be complete loss or destruction, that there won't be any bira in Amalek, because we saw from the lesson. The Mishnah that Shvirosei Zehu Tachonose, that his breakage, that will be his fixing. Why is he going to be completely lost and destroyed? Why would he be so worse? Why should his lot be worse than the other 7 peoples in Eretz Yisrael? To deceive what it's written in reference to them and to all the peoples that will be at the time of Moshiach. Oz Afeich El Hoamim Sofer Berura Likrei Kulam B'Shem Hashem. I will reverse literally to the mouths of all the Goyim and all the people. He had a clear lip, a clear mouth. Likrei Kulam B'Shem Hashem, that all of them should be called. All of them should call, not should be called, all of them should call in the name of Hashem. Uli Ovdei Shechem Echad, they should all serve the Eibusha with one shoulder, literally meaning all together, all united together. Arei, Shiyisalu B'Kemaha Berurim, they will all have an elevation, they will all go upwards at the time of the completion of all the Berurim, because they themselves will be also Mizbarer. V'Amalek lo yeh lo aliyah klal, and he won't have any aliyah or purification because of the birurim, but he will have to be completely destroyed. Afilu b'regahu, and everything else will be having an aliyah. He will still have to face complete destruction. V'inyan, so the inyan that is to hinein is buli yel dezayin umeis eim zayin midas. Royce. They are the 7 emotional traits, the 7 midas, how they are, the leumas zeh, the opposite of kedusha, how they are in leumas zeh, and therefore they're called midas royce. Shahem avazora, foreign love, in other words, which leads to taivas. That's what foreign love is. You're just drawn and attracted to all sorts of things that you shouldn't be. And it can be summed up in an expression of all the pleasures of this world, what the man sort of considers himself so much in need of them, and he longs for them, looks after them, and chases them around, etc. Tainuge Olam Hazeh. V'chein Yira Zora. What Yira Zora means, foreign fear. That he's scared about what's going to be with his future, he's scared about will he have panoso, he's scared about other such inyonim. Whatever he said, that's a inyan from Yira Zora. V'kas You have a gaiva. They're also shot to gevura, which is yira. Yira is the expression Berkoli of gevura. Kaas is anything, anger and temper. The gaiva is being blown up in yourself. V'chein hispyrus. Hispyrus is the midas atferes, and hispyrus means to hold yourself to be very splendid and to try to make yourself appear splendid in the eyes of the brios. V'hine yadua ma she'omer Azal. That's put down in the Mishnah and the Gemara near the beginning of Masechta Sotah. That ein odam oiver aveira ela im kain niknas boi ruach shtuz. But this is also brought down in the Barichas and the early part of the Hemshech Bosevagani, that a mensch doesn't commit an aveira, or he doesn't come to the state of committing an aveira unless there enters him a spirit of foolishness, of shtuz. And what is the function of that ruach shtuz? Shemachaseh al hanitzut eloki sheboy, that it covers over the divine spark that there is in every Yiddish neshama. Sheboy meaning in this particular person, whoever it might be, is covered over. Like the Rebbe's over there, Marek in the Bosek Begani, that covers over the truth. In other words, what you might call the genuine and real message which the neshama wants to give him. And where does that come from? It comes from the fact that Sof Kosof, he has in himself an nitzut elaki, and that should be getting him through at least a ha'ora, how do you call it, at least a radiation or a luminescence that should be affecting him, and the ruach shtuz, as it were, blocks that off and doesn't allow it to shine to him in the way it should. And the ruach shtuz is a form of, how do you call it, indifference and ability to sort of ignore the real truth and put it in the background. And therefore he said, that if the divine spark, the etzem divine spark that there is in every neshama, as he brings down how the Ruach Chochmah, Shebenefesh, that he talks about in Amuna in Perek Yud Ches in Tanya, well, that comes from the Nitzut Eloki Mamish. If that was shining in him, and if that were not hidden by this Ruach Shtuz that covers it over, it's not that hides it, it just sort of covers it over and doesn't allow it to shine at you. And they said, if it were shining, then he wouldn't be over any, he wouldn't transgress anything to do chas v'sholem with the Eibishter's will. And this Indian of the Ruach Shtuz, which makes a person indifferent and almost or ignorant, as you might call it, or completely insensitive to the divine message that he has in himself, by definition, we see that, for example, Shamish Misabe Eizataiva, someone that really gets worked up in a certain taiva, Harihu Miyabe Sikloi Lagamri, then he loses his seichel altogether. He just becomes, they call it, intoxicated, or to use the expression, fashikat, he becomes like drunk with the taiva, Lagamri, Vayase Shtusim Noiroim, and he'll do things with what you might call people who are more balanced or who are acting more in a seichelic way, that they will consider what he's doing is just unbelievable, narishkeiten, shtusim, foolish things, achiyasik ta'avosoi umamalai cheftoi, until he will grasp, he'll do these, what's considered by, people who are looking at a more seichelic thing, he will do these crazy shtusim, and he will lose his seichel in such a way, all because until he wants to do that, until he will grasp the taiva and he'll fill up the longing that he has for it. Chefta, like a longing, in a longing. And the reason that he does all these shtusim noiroim, and he falls into a completely folly type of behavior, is all because of the power, the takeover, he called the driving power of the taiva and the boiling of the blood, Reshichas Adomim, the hot-bloodedness and the koch of the blood, Harihu me'abed sikloi v'yinahi ke'echad ha'pesoim, and he will behave like one of the fools. A pesi is a fool. Pesoim is a Lashon Rabbi. Like one of the pesoim. And a pesi means a person that just, as a child, is sort of a mind. He doesn't reckon with serious issues. He just does things based on foolish concepts. That's a pesi. So he acts in order to get a taiva. Even an adult person will do all sorts of completely unreasonable and unlogical things in the eyes of people who are more balanced in order to get what he wants, and he behaves like echad pesoim. If he loses his seichel, kol shkein b'chinas anitzah telakisha boy shehu b'chinas hester v'helam. How much more that he loses the awareness of the divine spark in him. Why? Because it's completely covered over. It's v'helam, it's hidden, and it's hester, it's also being hidden over. If we see that he can't use the koyach ha'bechira, on many occasions we've said that that's in the nefesh ha'sichlis, and he's not able to use the normal assessment of the power of seichel, how much more so he's not going to be aware of a divine spark and a divine message. He doesn't hear things of that nature because they've all gone into hiding by him. They're in a state of helam. And he takes his mind off it, like we saw today. That's the opposite of das, the kedusha. Because das, the kedusha, you don't take your mind off it. You're bound to it. It's all the time on your mind and bothering you. But here he takes his mind off it altogether. And he's not aware at all. Like his mavat over there in the Bossi Lagani, a Yid, Be'etzem Tivoi, would never want to be separated or nifred from Elikus. No matter what sort of situation he may be in, he wouldn't want. So, how does he fall into all this foolishness? Because the thing that can get that message to him is hidden off. So since he doesn't get that message, therefore he thinks that this is not a serious matter. He just thinks that, take al pidin, or according to Yiddishkeit, shouldn't really, want such a thing, or shouldn't do such a thing. But he thinks, no, so I'm a naughty Jew, I'm a Yid, but I'm just a little bit not doing what I should be, I'll just keep it on, mishkefela. And he doesn't realize that with every Avaya, Kamavu in Tanya, Perik Yud Chesad Kofov, that the altar of his mother, through every Avaya, in the Chittas that we just did, through every Avera, you just can become, even if it's only with the Rabbanan, you become completely separated in that prat from Elikus. If he would know that, then for sure he wouldn't want to do the Avera, he wouldn't have the Chavet and the Gishmak in doing, because he wouldn't want to be separate from Elikus. But he doesn't realize, and it doesn't appear to him, that through this he's being separate, because the nitzvah is just not getting to him. And he's sort of living in his own separate little world. And therefore, since he doesn't think that it really is a serious matter, it doesn't cause any purity from Elikus, then that's why he does it. But any Yodeh Klal Shebazeh Nasa, he does become separate from Elikus, Sharehi Neged Rotzain Haboire. It's against the will of the Creator. In other words, what the Rebbe is thinking is that he's making war in a way with his own Creator. The Eibusher created him and creates him every minute. And the Eibusher says, look, I don't want you to do this and this. And he does it. That's kilo, that he's, as it were, fighting with his own Creator, which means separation. And he's becoming different from the Creator. And therefore he's very, very bad, and he called downcast, garua. Or mishukat, he's called repulsive, tome and repulsive. Mishukat is the word sheket. So sheket is the name for a reptile. He's like he's reptilian. He's sort of, he's very defileable. B'mokim acher. Ach, however, mipnei roiv ta'avosoi, hu shocher legamei. Or due to the fact that he's given over to this other world, where he's really worried about the moment he's tired. He might be, he doesn't think he is good, he thinks he's just doing what he wants a bit, but he's still here to connect with the Eibishter. He doesn't realize that he is separating himself from the Eibishter, and therefore, the Taiva gets into rave Taiva, becomes very powerful, and therefore he forgets all these other bainas. So Nimtza, Ike Sibas Hadova, Mashu Eva Aveda Chas V'Sholem, the reason or cause which brings him to transgress an Aveda, hu mipnei hahelem v'hahester shenista ha'oros Hashem. And where's that ha'oros Hashem? That's become hidden and disguised away from him, the luminescence and the shining forth of the Eibishter that's there, shebenitzutz nafshe, which is in the nitzutz inside his Okam in Tanya, Perek Yud Ches. And he just lives in another world and he looks the other way. And he thinks, oh, it's not so terrible, it's a fella. And he, as it were, makes himself, there's an expression in Yiddish, machen sich nicht wissen. Machen sich nicht wissen is if you act as if you don't know about it. Really deep inside you do, but you act as if you don't. So therefore, and what pushes him into such a stus is the role of Taiva, the starkness of the Taiva. Well, that is an issue in its own right by him, but therefore it pushes him into the wrong action altogether. So, Pu'ulas Hamidus Reis, and all this comes from the Pu'ula, from the activity of the Midas Reis that there are in his heart, since they're expressing themselves openly in his heart, as Midas already, as open emotional traits. Kamoi Ava Zora, the Taivas Vatanug Yeramaze, he's all drawn and attracted to all sorts of Taivas and everything that goes. He wants it. He wants to be into all the good gishmak of this world. Shemipnei Reiv Tavosei, Arihu Miyabe Desatzmoi. What's really happening is he's losing himself. Because his real self is the Nitzah Teroki, but that's the etzem in him, what he is, and that's the Chelek Elakam Mimam, and he's just looking the other way as it was not there. So he's really just, as it were, causing himself to lose himself. He's no longer tied up with his real inner being. Beloshen Ashkenaz, falir tzich legamri. He loses himself altogether. It's an expression in Yiddish, falir tzich, means that you lose yourself. No longer your real self. You no longer got any real shyness to your real self. That's called falir tzich. Ach, however, says the Rebbe, it's not a complete write-off. Such a situation is for sure not good. It's not desirable, but it's not a write-off. Ach lefiyomim, that from time to time, k'shemeyir benafshe b'chinas oyer Hashem, when he will let the Oyer Hashem come into his life, how would that be? That this is not what the Creator wants. So you see that a couple of times now that I've used that expression, but I get to misleading yourself about the Taivas and so on. The Rebbe says that it's not Rotzen HaBorei, it's not Neged Rotzen HaBorei, meaning that what's it that takes Borei? Borei is that it's bringing you into being, is Hashem. He's the Borei, He made you. And not only did He make you, He's making you the whole time. Remember, you're going against your own Etzem self, is Hashem. He's holding you every second. And you're going against Him. And that's what He stresses, Eina Rotzin HaBorei. Because He is Beinem, the Sikloi, the Gedulas Hashem. If you will really reflect in His Seichel, in the greatness of the Eibishter, Eich Shehu Mamale V'Seiv Chulu, maybe he's referring to what we saw in Tanya Dot, in Perek Gimel, even to Kula Kamei Chaloi Chashiv, which is Maga Madrega. Umavua B'Mokim Acher, Arichus Hasboninus, the many details of that is boninus. Then Yoelid Benafshe B'Chinas Ava V'Yira, then he will be matzliach to bring Ava V'Yira into his, like we see in Tanya. If you just put in effort, then you have, and you gain genuine midas, which are Ava V'Yira, V'yoshuv elavaya v'yirachamehu. He will come back to the Eibishter, and the Eibishter will receive him with rachamim. Yirachamehu means that the Eibishter will have rachmanas on him. That the Eibishter will receive him back and have rachmanas. Ubefrat, and when is this likely to happen? Bisman she'esh eis rotzen milmaila. Particularly in a time when it's an augureous moment from above. Let's say mitzad elakus, mitzad the etzim Indian, how it is in Milmaila. Then it's a eis rotzen, it's how do you call it, a desirable moment. Yes, she'esh eis rotzen milmaila. V'kamei b'asher shemei tshuva. Yeah, for example, in the Sefer Maamarim, after between Yom Kippur, between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, yeah, she'oz meya bechinas gilui hamoya milmaila. But then the Eibishter, literally the very etzem of the moya meaning the source of his nitzot. Even the nitzot is coming from the ma'or, which is the source of the nitzot. So the ma'or is shining out in a special way. The source of all the netzutas is shining especially in the Sefer Maamarim. Well, that's even from Gilui Hamoya Milmaila Mitzad Bechinas Rachamim Rabim, and that's Mitzad the Indian of that. Then it's a very special time. Rachamim Rabim, not just Tam Rachamim, but Rachamim on a very high madrega. Sheniskarev Hamoya Ela Nitzot. Not that the nitzot to go looking for the moya. The moya comes to the nitzot. What happens when our moya is miscarried to a nitzot? So then the nitzot jumps into the moya. The nitzot automatically pops and becomes miscarried and nimshach into the moya. So he said that's what happens in the Sefer Maamarim. The mitzad the goydel ha'rachamim sheyesh what the Eibishter is malachim alabriyos. The nezakir of the moya itself to the nitzot. So the nitzot automatically jumps in and becomes involved and niklau in the moya. V'nimshach anitzot v'nidbach erahavuka, so that the nitzot becomes drawn in and becomes cloven to the torch. The avuka means a big torch. Shu bechinas hamoya. Well, in the nimshach, well, that's the Eibishter's atzmus, Lamaila, what he's called the moya, kaviyachon. But the moya is not a real name for him, but it means how he's the shorsh of all the nitzutzet of the life. But he just becomes automatically nidbak mitzad the kira of the moya to the nitzot. The masha hoya betchila mishuke b'zayin midas reis. It's not that deep inside he really wants to be separate. So this is the Rabbi saying, okay, so the moya is carved to the nitzot. Well, but if he doesn't want to be carved, that's not kind of hope. A mensch mitzad his own rotten, he can, if he wants to face the other way, then he can face the other way. Father Rahman and Atlan. In other words, the kira of the moya to the nitzot is only if the nitzot is not enslaved by his rotten. And the nitzot is, as it were, free, and it can spring back if it wants. So that's what the Rebbe is covering with this line. Because for her, it's a kasha. If he doesn't want, then the nitzot are going to go back on its own. So that reason, the mashoya betchila mashuka b'zayin mitzvah, that's not mipnei shechofetz, that he really wants to be different from Elikus and separate from Elikus. Ela mipnei shetokva alav kol kach ribi hatayva, that he could attacked him so much and took him over, as you might, conquered him so much, the multitude of the taiva for inyan and gashmi, rachmaninit lan, ad shemeyabed sichle legamre, ve'enam is boinen, yeah, ve'ainu she'ein boi gilui, or he doesn't have any gilui of any light from the nitzot. There's no oil coming in from the neshama, and that's why he did it. Not because he really wanted. He didn't want really to be separate. He just fell into what's called in the Gemara shtus. That's the shtus. The shtus that you don't really want to be separate, but really what's happening is you are making yourself separate because you're losing your whole status, but you think you're not. You know, that's the shtus. Ribe Achim Abed Sikle the Gamre, Ve'enam is Boinen, Vahainu, Why would he not be misbein? Because he doesn't really have with what. There's no gilui of any real divine or getlicha in his life and his mind. Oh, so ask yourself to show that. How do you get into such a matzah? What's really the sibba is it the error is not being made from the nitzah? Okay, how did that happen? How did you get into the matzah lechatchila? So therefore he says, "V'sibba zeh yesh loima." We can suggest shehu mipnei heder ha'aveda v'yagia bitfila. Whoa, that's a very basic one. That's all because of the lack, the absence. Heder means absence of making an effort and struggling during davening. In other words, he just marvel the whole of the davening. And the Ika is to be Mishiageya and to give yourself away in davening to the Eivish in a form of Aveda, effort and Yagia. Then you get somewhere, then you get to realize in Yonim in Alakus, and that is what takes away the coverage over your own neshama and the nitzah which is in the neshama, and that can shine into you and show you what you should do, and it can cause you to want to do Ratzon Hashem B'Goli and telling you. But when it's hidden, so what causes it to be hidden is the fact that you didn't try to meet up with Hashem B'Shas HaTefillah. And why B'Shas HaTefillah? Because that's the time when you're trying to make kesher with Elokus, and that's the time that the light can start shining. But if there's no effort made there, then gradually you can drop out. So he said, "So kol ha'adam." And now this, I think, a slight print mistake. It should be written "Zeh kol ha'adam," or it could be "Zeh kol ha'adam" is the last passage in Kehelet. This is the whole man said he should do Hashem's will, as they state of. But Zeh kol ha'adam is a way of saying this is the whole man. This is what he should really be interested in. This is what he should really be doing. That's what I would assume. Maybe the purpose. To say, the Zekol Adam Ha'ika, what is the whole mensch? And the whole Ika Kavana and purpose of a mensch? Ha'ika who, the principal thing is, Sheyamik Dati B'Tfila, he should deepen his mind. Yeah, B'Tfila. Now here we say, listen, Yamik Dati. So, L'choira, here, at this point where he says Yamik Dati, he's referring to Bina, like we said, the oimek of Bina. Yeah, but Tefillah bis bonanes, b'gdula serin tzoi baruchu, b'hamokes ha-hadar. Now we have another time over, hamokes hadar. So hamokes hadar is a remez and a hint at what we saw in Paragimel today, the actual power of das in the moyach to bridge the gap and to get involved and to become really taken into what he's understood. Well, that's what he does. That's the koyach hadas in the moyach. What he said earlier, yamik datoy, I think he just means the power of oimek in understanding. And again, like we were just discussing. Hamokes hadas. V'loi b'dim yoyin hashov. That's what we finish off. That's what he goes on to say in Tani. So if you don't do that, then what happens is what's called dimyoyin shov. Well, a dimyoyin is like a mirror. It can be quite a detailed dimyon, but it's only a dimyon. For example, when you look in a mirror, you're not really seeing anything. You're only seeing like a mirror. Because there's mercury at the back of the glass, that just causes like a throwback of the light. But you're not seeing anything which is really yourself. You're not seeing any mamoshes, and you don't know how you are. So, but you're not really. You're only seeing a dimayon. It's a mirror. It's a dimyon. Yeah. And then, you might say, well, it's a dimyon, but it's a genuine dimayon. So a mirror's got a certain model that there is a certain exactness about it. So what happens here if you learn things but you're not misbeaning in them, you don't take them into the seriousness of your life, what happens is that you have dimyonis, it's not real emissaire results, but they're also shov. Now the word shov is an interesting word. Shov means false or improper, but how does it mean? It means like, not sheker. Sheker means something which is the opposite of the truth, and which goes against the truth. Shov means something that just has no trail. It's like just a useless thing, a useless statement. It's there, but it has nothing what to say really. For example, Rashi brought down in the Sefer Dibros, Loisiso Hashem Elokecha L'Shol, the fourth commandment, fourth or fifth commandment. Loisiso Hashem Elokecha L'Shol. So Rashi says, oh, what does it mean L'Shol? Rashi says exactly that. He brings the doom with it. If you make what's called a shavuos shol, you make a useless oath or false oath. But it means that you swear that the pillar of stone is made out of stone. What's the point of it? We know it's made out of stone. What have you added and what have you done by swearing about that? You've just taken the Abish's name uselessly, which means the haper of any sort of covet for the Abish. Everyone's a serious avail. It's useless. It doesn't aim as a call advantage or usability, or it doesn't add to us in any way. That's called shol. That's the word shol. So what happens if you dimyain a shol? In other words, you get, first of all, telling me dimyain, it's not really genuine. I said, well, it doesn't really help anybody. It's like, yeah, you didn't do anything in a way, because it doesn't really have any genuine effect. And that's the Lashon shol. Dimyain shol. Yeah, ki'im be'emes loy bedimyain shol. That if he really puts his mind in b'hamachas hadas, then he will come up with midas believe, not dimyain shol, but genuine, emesli amitoy. Now, emesli amitoy means genuine ingenuineness. In other words, something really adequate, lasting, something that won't just be there today and gone tomorrow. Ad sheyoylid mizeh b'chinas av v'yira k'diboy, until that eventually brings av v'yira how it should be, k'diboy. V'chein ba'ishak ha'torah yiyeh k'diboy l'mehevi. It'll also be the way it should be. L'mehevi, that means it should be. Sheyeh botel l'rakus. When he learns Torah, he'll be bottled to the rotten of the Eibishter and to l'rakus alis in Torah. Yikashir b'chinas chabad shebenafshei b'chabad the Torah. He will put his mind in its full detail, chokhmah bina v'das, into his learning in such a way that he connects up with Kaviyovol, the Eibishter's chokhmah bina v'das, how he's been megala that through Torah. However, the other way, beheder avodah, however, by not in the absence of avodah, not giving himself over to avodah the way it should be. She'eino ma'amik daite b'choizet b'kesher amit, and he doesn't deepen his mind like we saw in Tanya today. Interesting. Ma'amik daite, yeah, b'choizet. Well, that means he's kashrus and everything like we saw. B'kesher amit, with a powerful knot, with a strong knot. Ki'im b'dimyain b'alma, he just yates it any old way, and just, just what appears to him just on the surface, without any real, genuine devotion and giving himself over to that understanding that he understood. Yeah, umamera ein leider samidas kitiboy, and therefore the midas that he has, which are born out from, are also not the way they should be. Ki'im b'chinas chitzanis, they're only just surface, and only just not deep or meaningful to himself even. How much more so in the sense of permanence and meaning in a way of bringing him into the world with Elkus to keep the mitzvahs more behira, because someone's not a genuine Israelite. Just as they say in Yiddish, it looks to him as if he's become involved in Elkus, but the Emma says it's just a chitzenius ticket. How do they say here today and gone to tomorrow? And in that way becomes dark in the light, meaning the divine light that should be coming from his soul. That if he were to have midas of that sort, the way it should be, then he makes a connection with the ha'or of his own nefesh, and he becomes more connected with his own real self, as you might say. But when the midas are not kitty boy, then gradually all the light of his soul just becomes darkened off. She'eino ero ki meya etzloi begilui. That the divine light doesn't shine by him begilui. So we can say that that's in like in two nuances. Ain't a divine light meaning the divine light hidden in these bonus doesn't really get to him, because if the divinity really got at him, then he would have genuine doubt in the matter. And Satan's is the light of his neshama, he explained before. The light of the nitzitz elokee doesn't sort of link up with what he's been doing. Light up his activity, because it's all just b'chitonius. It's not. And the Helen Vahester, over that light has not really been removed. And therefore he said, Ma'at, She'eino er laki meya tzlei begilui, where are we? V'ainu she'ein lo shum chayas klal b'shum dover. He doesn't really feel any genuine chayas in anything connected with these avodah. He does it all, but he doesn't really, he's not enthusiastic, devoted with a geshmachim, with a chayas. He sort of just, how do you call it? Mahechitaisi. And remember, ein lo shum chayas b'shum dover klal. V'chol asiyosov, and all his actions, ein rak min ha'sofa ulachos. They're all just from the lip and outwards, meaning it's all just a bit, to the chitain, just for show. It's not really a genuine living in Elokut. It's just, it would be good if it would be, but what do we do, In the meantime, he's looking around to see what he can have. A good time. The Rebbe says, the Rebbe, Perloi shum chayas pnimi. It may have a little bit of sort of chayas on the outside, but it's not a chayas pnimi. It's not something inside him, which really means, like we saw today, he's not really involved. He's in it, but he's not involved. He's not committed, He's got it, but he hasn't. And well, it's a common problem. Validezeh, hu misaveh, he becomes coarser, lost in thickness, he becomes coarser, hu mishkashim becomes more, physical, materialistic and babushim, hu mishkababoy, and years. And remember, what really gets the upper hand by him and what takes over is the Nebuchadnezzar. Ad Keshabola is a Dvar Taiva. The Taiva's Heter. That is, they'll come to in some Taiva, even in permitted Taiva's Heter. Things which you are allowed to do, then he'll do it mitzad the Taiva. Shu mi moiseris lagamri. It could be that something which he doesn't really need it either. It's not really important to him. It's not really all that essential. But since it's permitted, I'll be told. He said, if it's permitted, why shouldn't I have it? Why shouldn't I give myself over to it? And so he loses him, like he said before. Taivas hetesh, shehumi meisris legamrei, eni yochel ufoel etzloi haheskem benafshei lebli la'seis adorahu. He can't really toil by himself. He can't bring himself to a complete agreement within his nefesh, lebli la'seis adorahu. To not have anything to do with that Indian, he can't come to such an agreement. Even though he's already got a certain shaykhus because he's learning and he knows Kedulas Ein Tov, etc. But if he bothers not come through the Avodas HaTfilah and through these bonos and through the deepening of the Koyach HaDas, therefore it's also just on the outside. V'ayayim, where are we? Eni yochel uferetz le'eschem. He can't bring to himself to make a eschem. Lebli la'seis adorahu, to not carry out that thing. Validezeh, goyim shiach peitzay. The Rebbe said, with that, the taiva just gets worse and it doesn't get weakened. On the contrary, the fact that he gave in on this account, or he didn't take a genuine stand against it, but it will just prompt him and then to become more involved. You'll really want it more after that, because since he's given in on the subject, and he's let it in to his life, then it'll just prompt him to do it more and more. That's what we said. A person becomes involved in the Mishagas of this world. He's not prepared to give them up. Yeah, he just. Even though he may know Torah, and he may even learn Torah, and he may even have to do it, keep my mitzvahs, but he can't sort of bring himself to really make a firm stand on the matter. And that's the union of the Zion ministry. Vayayim omer lekach, or mocha omer lekach. So in the Gemara about the Eitahar, that today he said to you, do this, and tomorrow he said to you, do something else. So he stated on the Gemara, to who knows what. So that was said the Rebbe, it'll just keep telling him what to do until it'll involve him in just being completely Oiva and Aveda, which will mean going against Hashem's will. Up to now he's just been indifferent about it. He hasn't been able to sort of make a firm agreement in himself not to do it or not to be involved. Over here, he just come to a point where he wants it more and he wants it more. Then he just falls into indifference, and it doesn't really matter to him that he's over an Aveda. He doesn't really feel the tremendous seriousness of what he's done. That's because of the lack of genuine Aveda, genuine serving. What he said, V'ika, that was Tefillah, as he pointed out before. That's the genuine inyan of Aveda. V'yakiyas HaNefesh, and the struggle within his nefesh, and the preparedness to work hard and to really put effort into it. Yeah, Umamela Nishkashin Kol Kach Kenahal. And therefore he becomes very Magusham, he becomes very sort of grob and physical and materialistic. Yeah, Kol Kach, as was mentioned just about. We went into that just a few lines higher. Kana, as about. Ach, however, it's not far. Ach, he said, Mikol Mokim. Nonetheless, without, giving in yet. The situation's not good, it's not Gishmak, he should be doing better, all these in Yonim, but it's not a write-off. Mikol Mokim lefi omim, kishameir benafshi bechinas gili oil. When the oil does get through, and he reminds himself, he remembers Niskar, he remembers for himself, on his own deeds, and what he really does, and what's really happening to him. Eik Shahim Neged Rotzen HaBoirei. The Boirei brings him about every minute. Who Sanui Lashem B'Tachlis, and the Eibusha hates him B'Tachlis Hasimah. Now what do you mean the Eibusha hates you? That's not really sad to say the Eibusha loves anybody who hates him. That was that the Eibusha doesn't feel that he can be Makar such a mess. He gives him the whole time his whole being, but he's doing the hatred of what Hashem really intended with the whole creation and the whole Kavanah Pinimis in the creation. So Hashem has a word of separating from. That's what he calls sinner. That kilo situation that Hashem realizes that you and he are separated. That's kilo a tsar on the part of the Shekhinah. It's called sinner. Or not that Hashem hates you. He just put it this way: he can't love you because you don't love him. Remember, he said there was Sanui Lashem B'Tachlis Hasina. Validei Zeh Nasa Nifred Melakuz, and through that he's really separate from Melakuz. If Hashem feels he can't love him, or Hashem doesn't really want him the way he is, then that's really very bad going. He's become Nifred, separate from Melakuz. Yishmal Ben Benafshim Oid, he will feel tremendous maridas, how they call it, embitterment in his soul. Yoshuv Elavaya Bechol Liba is well known that maridas is a positive thing, and that it's not something we should be looking at ways to be like that, but when necessary. Maridas is a part of Maria means that you want to get good, you're pushing, and all of a sudden you make an effort to change where you are in order to get into a better state. Well, that's Maria. Remember, he said by a person who chaps himself, who's fallen into the above matter, but he all of a sudden wakes up, what's really happening? Yeah, then he will be mismarner, he will feel the Indian of Maria's very much in his soul. Yosef alavaya b'cholim, and he'll go back to the Eibusha with genuine tshuva. He said, but klippos sharei ha'umayis. He said, oh, that as far as the clippers of the other peoples, meaning the 7 peoples in Eretz Yisrael, and other goyim b'klal. She'im neged b'chinas amidas to kedusha. Yeah, shemizgabrim u'mastirim. They're against the midas of kedusha in such a way that they gain upper hand and they cover over, and they block off. V'hainu k'she'ina mea b'hem b'chinas ha'moichin kanal. Because he doesn't really feed with anything. The midas are not being fed in kedusha by the moichin, because he's not really being mizbeinim properly. He's not bringing das to send the message of the moichin through. The other midas is chapin, and they see that the moichin are not shining through it. They take in, and they, as it were, have a hold there, and they're literally forcing, as you might say, like the Rambam says, that they forces they tell you into such an undesirable situation. Of when he does get himself together, and he is mizboina, and he does do things based on the fact that he's separated from the boira, he knows what that means. Mamela nidochim. And then he called that Mamela pushed away, that the midas rise of the Zion Umays, and Mamela pushed away, because it's like they all knew that Ma'at oil deiche habe choshek. So if you bring genuine oil, which is nimshich alidei the moichin being bidled to Elokus, therefore they're able to be mamshik to Yemensa, aora, and the moichin from the feeling of the truth that there is in the moichin. But then, you can push away these things because they are eloquent. It's the behemoth, the oil of the neshama also, as we pointed out. His maya here, so it pushes away the dark, and that's what he says, nidochim. Yeah, the gammy, they're just pushed out of the area altogether, and he can be Messiah and come back to genuine eloquence. And that's what he says now. Zeh mashikosav gabi yankiv v'yodei oichezes ba'ekev Esau. When Esau was born, when the 2 twins were born, Yaakov and Esau were twins, then when Esau was born, he was the first one to come out of the womb, but holding onto his heel was the hand of Yaakov. So that's what he says here. That's the Indian, that Yaakov has always got a hold on Esau. He's never really let him go. And Yodeh is the infant Yud. Yodeh is the infant Yud. Yud is the bittul from Chochmah. And the bittul from Chochmah's got the ability to shine lamata mata, because it's such a powerful gilui. But there's always a yad from Yankim, a Yud, the bittul from Chochmah, and the infant, the emes of the moichin, is always holding on to Esau. All you need is just to make it work a bit, just to put a bit of chayes into that Yud, into that yad, and then you got a hand on Esau. As he takes it, but that's the pshat. Yodei v'chezes b'ekev Esau, the Yankiv Upchin is Yud Ekev. Yud Ekev. Yud with the word Ekev. So he said, what is that? Yud Shehu B'chinas Chochmah Nimshach Ado Akavayim. That Chochmah is a very powerful koyah that goes all the way down to the heels. V'hainu gam b'madrega hayis tachtonos. They're all down in this world, in the lowest of madregas. Shom yoyeh b'chinas ha'chochmah. That's the infant Yankiv. That's what indicates the Shem Yankiv. B'tei shelo yeh memshela v'shlita leb'chinas Esau. That there shouldn't be any real government or control on the part of Esau. What Esau is the midas rois, lishleit b'chinas hamidas. There's always a hand, which is a yud. The chokhmah is always holding them back. Never quite lets it really take over. V'heim midas rois, lishleit b'midas tekedush. V'hainu aditei gilei chokhmah shemei shom. due to the fact that in the hand of Yankov, we said Yud Ekev, but this is the Aruch of Chokmah, but that's Zemes a Gila Lakuz and Zemes a Bittul Telakuz. Really, that is what's holding on. And if he wants, he can hold back Isaac, he can sort of hold him by the heel and, stop him and drag him down. And what he can do is use that graph as we go. And it can be done, and it's often done. And therefore, even though his situation may be bad, it's not fafal. It's not lost altogether. And because it's only the midas being affected. Well, we're going to see the knowledge the different. Easy and hadas, the clipper, and he doesn't let even the das begin to have an effect. Well, he like cuts off the emotion altogether. And that's Molech Roisha, what we saw, the Korb Noah, cuts off the head altogether. And a Molech is a very different story. With him, nothing gets through. You just don't feel anything. Indifferent, cold. Now, that's an issue. At least this person is hot. The only difficulty is that he's hot with an undesirable feeling towards the tigers of this world. Well, at least he's hot. There's something cocking there. So you can bring the cock with Kedusha, the beetle, the Kedusha, and you can gradually wipe that out. That's a Yankee, Yud Ekev. Yeah, the Yud is even Hilamata. You can calm it out. And then there's Maya, the Yoel, keep back, and he can get back to the right balance. But if there's nothing getting through, and he's just indifferent, that's a very serious situation. And that's what we'll see. That's even at Amali. So if you don't mind, we'll have to hold the so we ought to be running 3 or 4 minutes short of an hour. So. Good. Okay.